As we're currently getting swamped with new book releases every single day, it wouldn't surprise anyone to know that Orbit Books, one of the biggest publishers of SFF, sci-fi and fantasy novels, announced earlier this week that they are launching a brand new horror imprint called Run For It. That's right, a publishing side gig where they are solely focusing on horror books. As someone who is obsessed with sci-fi and fantasy and also horror as well, I am super excited for this, and I thought that we would take a look at their blog that they posted, which goes into just a little bit more detail. Orbit, a division of Hachette Book Group, announced today the launch for Run For It. Great name, by the way. A new horror imprint. Run For It will become the division's fourth imprint alongside the existing Orbit, Red Hook, and Orbit Works imprints. The new imprint will publish Orbit's current horror authors and will be adding more in due course, which has me super hyped already. I can name one just off the top of my head, Craig DeLuey. I have read a couple of his books and I have thoroughly enjoyed them. And maybe the question that I'm about to ask will be answered later on in this blog, but are they just focusing on like contemporary fiction horror, or will they be including sci-fi horror or fantasy horror? I'm going to assume just maybe supernatural contemporary horror, but who knows? The first titles from the new imprint are expected to be published in summer 2025.
Oh, god damn it!
So yes, this is going to be quite a long wait. I was really hoping that since they were announcing this during the summer that we were going to be getting some new books from this imprint for the upcoming spooky season. Like October would have been such a great time to get some new books from this imprint, but totally understandable. Probably a lot of work that still needs to be done. We've been steadily increasing the number of horror titles we publish each year, which is very true. And with so many exciting things happening in the horror genre over recent years, it seemed the perfect time to launch a dedicated imprint. Yes, it's very similar to how Tor Publishing recently, well, within the last couple years, they released Tor Nightfire, which is all horror titles. And of course, Orbit needed to get in the game. Said Tim Holland, president and publisher of Orbit, "Our goal is to make Run For It a destination imprint for the most exciting writers in the field." Josh Malerman? Could they get a Josh Malerman title in here? Maybe. I'm sure he's expensive as fuck. And we can't wait to take the genre into new and possibly terrifying places. Horror has long been a favorite genre of mine and many others on the team, and publishing authors such as, Craig DeLuey, which is who I just mentioned, and Andy Marino, amongst others, has certainly whetted our appetite for publishing more, said Bradley Englert, executive editor at Orbit. It's a genre that allows writers to experiment, push boundaries, and test the limits of fiction and good taste. Dedicating an imprint to horror will allow us to find more new voices and more terrifying stories, and more ways to keep readers up at night. So my real question here is, will some of the fantasy authors that they publish, so maybe Richard Swan, David Daglish, will they be writing books for this imprint? I would love to see that. Even Megan E. O'Keefe, because she recently wrote a sci-fi that had some creepy moments in it. I could see her writing a horror novel. Or even Essa Hansen, she would write an incredible, like, deep water spooky horror novel. I need it now. This is what I need in my life. It looks like that is all the information that we are getting on this for now. So, of course, Craig DeLuey, who recently published a new book, How to Make a Horror Movie and Survive. I actually plan to pick this one up soon, but it was published, if it would focus, by Red Hook. So would all horror novels just be transferred over to Run For It? But then we have Red River 7, which Anthony Ryan wrote, and it was definitely more thriller than it was horror, but I would still kind of classify it as horror a little bit. This was actually published by Orbit, so would this move over to that imprint? I clearly have way too many questions. This was really good, by the way, if you haven't read it. What I personally really love seeing is how excited everyone else is. So if you go to their Twitter page or even their Instagram page and go to the post where they announced the imprint, oh hey look, it's me. Everyone is super hyped, and that makes me so happy. Yes, can't wait for submissions to open. Ooh, we get some new authors. I can't wait for that. I'd love to be added to a reviewers list if at all possible. That is a great question. I wonder if they're going to add more reviewers to their list that they have. This is everything to me. Submitting my name as the perfect representative / ambassador for Orbit horror. Yes, this is great. Yay. Oh my. See, this was my reaction too. Consider me your blurb machine, please. I have never blurbed a book. Okay, that's a lie. I did blurb a book once, but unfortunately it was left out of the printing accidentally, because that would be my luck. Fantastic news. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help promote that imprint. Make content, Ginger Nuts of Horror. Super exciting news. Can us mere peasants from the UK be on the reviewer list? Maybe you gotta email them and ask. There is nothing wrong with emailing a publisher and asking. Just ask them. They are so nice. What? Delighted. I love horror. So do I. But yeah, as soon as Orbit Books announced this new imprint, I knew I needed to make a video on it, and I am super pumped. Let me know down below how you guys feel. I know a lot of you are horror nuts. Which Orbit authors would you like to see write a dedicated horror novel for this imprint? I have so many that I can think of. Richard Swan, Essa Hansen, Megan E. O'Keefe, David Daglish, even Jacob Wexler. I would love to see write a dedicated horror novel. Oh, please. Like, the options are endless. Let me know down below in the comments how excited you are. Let me know all of your thoughts. Like this video if you enjoyed it. It really helps me out. Subscribe if you're not. I'd love to have you here. And until we meet again, happy reading.